Good afternoon. My name is Kaylee Reynolds. This is Megan Antrim, and we will be introducing our new sport law, the Railings Overboard Protection Act.
History of MLB fatality. Since 1969, there have been a total of 22 deaths from spectators falling out of their seats at a Major League Baseball game. Most fatal accidents are caused by falling objects from the stadium, falling from bleachers, heart attacks, heat exhaustion, and alcohol intoxication. Modern-day stadiums. Stadiums have been increasing in size over the years. The increase in height plays a huge role in the many deaths. In 1923, Yankee Stadium was 123 feet. Today, Yankee Stadium currently sits at 408 feet.
Some case examples that we were able to find to support our new law are that on April 25th, 2010, 51-year-old Stuart Springstube was watching his favorite team, the Chicago Cubs, practicing before their matchup against the Milwaukee Brewers. When Springstube reached over a railing to catch a ball, he fell about 15 feet to the field below. Springstube was conscious when his wife met him in the emergency room of a local hospital. However, doctors later determined that Springstube suffered several broken ribs, a torn aorta, and a brain bleed. On May 12, 2010, Springstube suffered a brain hemorrhage, went into cardiac arrest, and then died. Miller Park, the stadium that Springstube fell from, had railings that were 30 inches high, but no protection after that fatal reach and plunge over the front of those railings was in place to save him and prevent from his fatal accident.
30-year-old Ronald Lee Homer Jr. accidentally fell to his death over the 42-inch high railing from an upper level of Turner Field in Atlanta while he was attending a baseball game.
In 2009, 2 falls over railings were recorded at Busch Stadium in St. Louis. On April 21st, 2009, a man fell 18 feet from the front row of the Queen Party porch section and landed on a woman below. On June 26, 2009, a man fainted on a hot day and fell over the front row railing of the 4th deck, falling 12 feet to the concourse below. Again, the railings were 30 inches high, but no further protection was in place to prevent these tragedies from occurring.
In 1994, at a Rangers ballpark in Arlington, Texas, Holly Minter fell backwards over a 30-inch tall railing. Shortly after Minter's fall in 1994, the Rangers raised the railings in the section where she fell to 46 inches, but left other railings unchanged. It was the basis for a lawsuit Minter filed against the Rangers, who settled for an undisclosed sum.
Most recently, on July 7, 2011, Shannon Stone, a father, fell to his death while trying to catch a ball thrown towards him by Texas Ranger outfielder Josh Hamilton. The man lost his footing and fell over the 33-inch tall railings and plunged 20 feet onto the concrete below at Rangers Ballpark in Arlington as his young son looked on. Since then, the Rangers spent $1.1 million to install new railings around the ballpark that were a minimum of 42 inches high. But while railings are being raised, there is still no second form of protection and prevention from injuries sustained from falling. The assumption from risk. If a plaintiff voluntarily participates in a risky activity and knows about and understands that risk, he or she is then unable to recover from anything in tort law. Due to special invitee relationships, defendants must protect the invitees from a foreseeable danger or injury. Attending a sporting event, such as and specifically baseball games, involves risky activity such as foul balls or flying bats entering the seating area. This invitees understand and are made aware of before entering a venue.
Limited duty rule. Baseball stadium owners owe a duty of care to spectators who attend sporting events at their facility. Stadium owners are required to protect spectators from dangerous areas in the stadium, like the backstop, protecting first and third baseline, and high area seating. ticket disclaimer. This is a legal agreement that says you accept the risk of being there and hold the venue and team free of responsibility in the event of a game-related injury. By purchasing a ticket, the spectator agrees to all of these risks. But there are things that the ticket disclaimer does not cover. A broken piece of the stadium, lack of stadium upkeep, other drunk fans. In these cases, a lawsuit may be brought because they were not accepted risk the event that you are attending.
As a subsection to the limited duty rule, with the Railing Overboard Protection Act, baseball stadium owners would now be required by law to install netting on all open areas of the stadium, as well as to install netting in front of any raised seating or standing areas. This netting will serve the purpose of catching any civilians who would happen to fall over the railings of the stadium. The law would also require stadium owners to investigate and report any and all fatalities that occur on venue premises. This would allow for valid records to show what deaths occurred in stadiums and why. Currently, there is no way to differentiate between natural deaths and unnatural deaths that occur on stadium grounds. This law would eliminate any confusion and further progressive measures needed to be taken in order to ensure civilian safety.
The pros. The benefits to adding netting in front of upper level decks and on the sides of the baseball field stadiums are less fatality and less injury. Cons. The negative side to adding netting to the stadium are cost of netting, the effective game of play, and potentially encouraging fans to purposely jump onto the netting.
Concerns. Some concerns could be raised with this new law. The first would be how it would affect the play or the flow of the game of baseball. Visibility would definitely be a key issue here. Fan visibility would not be the same with netting around the stadium. Another issue would be foul balls being caught by fans. This is a big aspect of the game, as fans enjoy sitting in these sections of the stadium to be able to catch foul balls. Another concern could be what effects could this carry once ROPA is implemented. If this law is enacted, there could be potential influx of lawsuits against stadiums or teams by people who have been previously injured by falling at stadiums. This would be because by making the changes, stadiums would be acknowledging that there would be previous and potential, perhaps contributory safety problems or concerns in the first place. While these concerns would have to be considered, ultimately, the benefits of the Railings Overboard Protection Act would outweigh any oppositions to the law.